Matlala has accused police of planting false evidence on his phone, including a photo of an Eswatini identity card. The prosecution says the identity card makes him a flight risk.
A photo of an Eswatini identity card belonging to the applicant was found on his WhatsApp chats. Preliminary investigation points to the fact that this identity card may be false. I attached a copy of this photo as Annexure HM2. False or not, this identity card will enable the applicant to cross the border between South Africa and Eswatini. Paragraph 7. What is more suspicious is the fact that the applicant presents himself as Vusumuzi Dlamini on this identity card.
Welcome back to Skybridge. The Home Affairs officer who assisted Vusumuzi Kat Matlala obtain an Eswatini ID says she acted in good faith. Matlala is the prominent South African businessman who is accused of orchestrating a network of corruption, fraud, and violence in the neighboring country. The Home Affairs officer stated that she never received payment from anyone for assisting Matlala in obtaining the Eswatini ID. A Times of Eswatini investigating team managed to track down the officer, and she agreed to an interview, although reluctantly. During the interview, she was almost in tears as she narrated how then-man she has recently come to know is Matlala, who was in the company of a relative, arrived at her workplace seeking assistance with obtaining a local ID. She said she had no idea who he was and she was assisting him like any other Eswatini who stay in the Republic of South Africa and come back after some time to obtain national documents such as IDs from Home Affairs. She said even though his accent had a blend of Zulu, it did not ring any bell because a number of Eswatini in the Eswatini region mostly speak some form of Zulu. I absolutely did not know who he was. So many Eswatini come from South Africa and ask for assistance to obtain these documents. I honestly thought he was one of those. How could I have known who he really was because I had never heard of him until now? Maybe the one who came with him knew who he was, but as for me, I honestly did not know anything except that he was seeking assistance. I assisted him like any officer would have done. All I did was what any other officer could have done. There was nothing out of the ordinary in what I did to assist him, she explained. The officer stressed that she was assisting him genuinely, completely oblivious to who he really was. He was brought to me by a relative, and I was simply trying to help, the employee said. She also emphasized that when she assisted the man, she was not paid any money, and nobody had promised her any payment. I can show you my bank account. I did not receive anything, nor was I paid for this. I was just helping as requested by the relative who came to me with him, she said. The officer insisted that she was allegedly approached by a relative who asked her to assist Matlala since he was known to him. She pointed out that there was no way she could have verified Matlala's true identity. She also denied that other people were involved, insisting that Matlala and her relative came to her personally. The officer further clarified that she was not the one who made a confession implicating others, and that she told investigators the truth about her role without implicating anyone else. The possession of an Eswatini ID by Vusumuzi Kat Matlala is now being used as the key ground to oppose his bail application in South Africa. State prosecutor Elise Leroux has argued that Matlala's fraudulent Eswatini ID makes him a significant flight risk. She contended that because Matlala has a second illicit identity document, he could potentially use it to evade justice by fleeing across borders undetected. It was further her averment that the fraudulent Eswatini identity card, found as a photo on Matlala's phone, is evidence that he is a flight risk. According to the state, the ID lists his name as Vusumuzi Dlamini and would enable him to cross the border between South Africa and Eswatini to evade justice. The prosecution further alleged that Matlala used a secret cell phone while in custody and attempted to flush it down a toilet. His legal team, on the other hand, claims that police tampered with his confiscated devices and planted the fraudulent Eswatini ID to frame him. In a bail affidavit read to the Alexandra Magistrates Court, Matlala's lawyer, Lawrence Hode, argued that his client's continued detention is unjust, claiming it prevents him from running his businesses and supporting his 9 children. Why would a South African citizen like Vusi Matlala hold a fraudulent Eswatini ID, and who enabled it? What does this case expose about cross-border identity fraud and institutional blind spots? How many public officials are hiding behind dual or fake identities to dodge accountability? Should Eswatini and South African authorities be jointly investigated for ID loopholes? What protections exist for whistleblowers who uncover fraudulent documentation in government ranks? One ID, two countries, zero accountability. Vusi Matlala's case isn't just about fraud, it's about the cracks in our civic foundation. If identity can be forged, so can justice. Share this story, demand answers, and let's expose the networks behind the paperwork. This information is taken from Eswatini Times Live. Kindly hit the like button, share the video, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on my next upload. Bye.